She put a pot on she hair and gone. Them a the first one out on the dam. Basket on she head, bucket in each hand. Hold up on she frock, I wanna she grandson. To the market, them a go. For the morning, the day is dawning. For cock-a-crow to give the villagers a warning. Rise and shine, the birds them a sing. All animal take turn as them join in the waking. Cock-a-crow, dagaba, donkey, bray, horse and neigh, even duck a quack.
Good night. We are back again once more with our village Gyaaf. This week we will be discussing how our villages can do better. We would like to see within as short as possible time activities in our villages which can contribute towards development. So this program, Village Gyaaf, will be taking village life one notch up in the near future. With that in mind, I have been recently informed that the folks in Bedford Acton have decided that they will establish what is known as the Bedford Acton Development Association. Tonight, I will have with me members of that association to tell the community and other communities what are their goals. What do we expect to come out of such associations as the Bedford Acton Development Association? Right? The thing is, we all know that our villages have been taking a battering because we have not been working together. So associations like the Beefy Triumph Development Associations need your support. We need to find ourselves in associations, just like our foreparents did when they bought these villages. Well, they bought plantations, but out of which they created villages. Let us work together, right? With me at this point in time is Dr. Paul Williams. Many of you know him as Deputy Commissioner Paul Williams. Paul is here to discuss with you and me the aims and objectives of the BV Development Association. As you would have seen from the ads that went before, this association has already decided that they will make an impact on village life by celebrating for BV and Triumph, the people of BV and Triumph, the Emancipation activities. They have 1 week of activities. So, Dr. Paul, good night.
Good evening, Mr. Elton McCrae. What a colloquial terms as it relates to your program, Village Gyaaf, which is such a wonderful thing.
Yes, it's a gap. We need to get it going.
Because, growing up, I know, well, that used to happen a lot. Where you have the elderly folks, and even we as young ones growing up, and we will have our little Gyaaf and what is going on. And that is one way in terms of sharing information and bringing togetherness. It's a pleasure being on your program, and I must also acknowledge you as Cousin Elton.
Okay, Cousin Paul.
Yes, so we have formed a group, the group name Better for Acting Triumph Association for Development. This group formed last year, but there was deliberation quite a while, and now we have come to fruition. And the purpose of this group is after we would have carried out observation and recognized that there are certain things that are slipping away and BV of itself is no longer being recognized or seen for what we knew it ought to be and what it should continue to be, we decided that we're going to get on board. When we decided we're going to get on board is a team of us, and the membership is still open, but presently our team members are myself, Colin Boyce, Paul King, Joanne Solomon, Chandel Success. I have Jean Jansen with me, Niall Fraser, who's from the same establishment here. I have Rudolph Calendar, Fiji, with us. Then I have Desmond Isaacs, and many others, But our primary focus is that when we sat down, we looked and we came up with a theme. And our theme clearly spelled out our mission and our purpose. And what we're doing, we want to restore the unique identity of Better for Acting Triumph. But in doing so, we want to do it through education, through sports, through cultural folklore, and benevolence.
Benevolence.
Yes.
Wonderful, because we have a lot of people who are in need within our communities, because our communities, as we recognize, you said you were doing observation, we are really down and out. So there must be benevolence. Yeah.
Yes. So with that, we were able now to team up with another association in the U.S., consists of Baronians, and lo and behold, when we came up with our name, their name were similar. You understand me? Their name were similar, and there were no preliminary discussion as it relates to the planning of names and what we're going to name and who named this and who named that. And we now came together with this team. The team consists of Winslow Mitchell, Pedro, we have Arrol Abrams, Martin Emmanuel, Michael Stanley, I think Ingrid Charles, Desiree Murray, and a whole team of them there too. They have just recently concluded a Baronian Day.
Yes, I think I saw something
I think it was on
of that
Sunday
nature on the
yes,
Facebook.
And that was very
in
nice.
In a park.
It's an annual event.
Yeah.
And those members there are persons who have established and extended commitment towards us working together. And they will be coming in for our
week of activities.
So this is our maiden venture, and we're looking forward for it to be a success. But as we go along, we will enlighten the audience more and more as it relates to what we've planned and also how we intend to execute. Okay.
That is very magnanimous of you young people, I must say. Oh Lord, my phone. Sorry about that. No, I can't take it off because I'm using the WhatsApp. Yes, this is Paul, Dr. Paul. No, our little Paul is now Dr. Paul. Yes. So the BV Triumph Development Association for Development, because I had it wrong, right? Sorry about that. Now, the fact that we see the need for such an association, you saw the need for such an association, says a lot, because about a month ago when I started this program, it was the clarion call. We need to have effective groups within our community. We need to have a revival within our communities, right? And this is not only for BV alone. You go to Pleasance, you go to Buxton, Golden Grove, almost all our communities, Leeds, Manchester, they all having basically the same issues of stagnation. What's the reason for it? We are still to determine, right? Some people have ideas, some of us have our basic ideas what might be the cause, but let us try to reverse whatever is happening. And I'm happy to know that you guys have come together to do some work in BV. Notwithstanding there's the 8th of May, which COVID and other factors has caused 8th of May to be stagnated. But 8th of May, I can tell you, we are 100% behind you guys, and we will be supporting, right? Now, one point I remember a few years back, Dr. Paul, you had a discourse at the BV Government School. Well, then it was a community high school, or was it secondary yet?
It was community high.
Community high school, where you had proposed that we should do something about the young people in this community, because you were then deputy commissioner and you feel that what was happening in right under your nose in your community was not right. How do you feel now today alongside that same situation?
Way back then when I would have made that presentation, it's basically because of what I would have observed. The thing is that I've born here, I've grown here, and I'm still living here. And I recognize that a lot of the young people look up to me, and I know definitely I have a very good communication with them. Because many times there are situations where I'm being called upon, and my intervention brings about very peaceful resolution, and we have things very, worked out very well. Even also in terms of assisting the police in dealing with matters and so on. Okay? So what I recognize, our young people here, they need guidance.
Definitely.
They need leadership. You understand me? And the thing is that there are lots of challenges, socially, economically, you understand? And with that, I think it is very important that we now step in and help to guide them. It's not our loss. From my assessment, it is important that we started to work with those who, I will just use a colloquial term, or the Gyaaf. Let us work with those who are independent. Because if we spend much more time running behind those horses that are already out of the stable, by the time we get back, those who in the stable will go out. So it's about time we start to work with those who are independent. For those who already stepped out, they already know their way back home. So once they see things happening and so on, they should return like the prodigal children.
Yes.
So, so with that focus, I think it is important that the children, I know they're willing, and I can say that because of my interaction, from my observation, and with, what investigation that we would have conducted and carried out. So with our efforts, we are not going to counter already established efforts from the government, from any other association or organization, or whatever the case might be. What we are looking at, we are looking to be more supportive.
Yes.
To be more supportive. But then, not only being supportive too, we want it to be purposeful in terms of meeting the right objectives and challenges that we're facing. Because within the community, the thing is that the people within the community uniquely know what they need.
Yes.
what they need. You understand me? And as a result of that, I think with us now who really understand the need, two things. We can help to showcase it,
Facilitate them.
and also even make it known wider or farther field. So definitely, whoever else is coming on board and who's already there, we're going to ensure we work together and we stay to the targets.
Yes, that is great. I am pleased. There is nothing else but to say that what you guys are doing is bring joy to me.
Yes, because let me share this with you. The overseas group, the association in overseas, when I visited there last year, this year when I went for graduation, and before that we had a talk, but when I visited there and we, look, they've been doing a lot of work. I think this is about their 7th year in operations.
Yeah.
And they've been doing a lot of work, but then we back here don't know.
No.
And there are numerous Baronians that they're assisting.
Yes.
Right? Numerous Baronians, those who go and study, scholarship, and different programs. They're helping them, and even some people back home here, they're helping too. But it's not known, and I make it, I said, look, we need to make it our duty to let it known overseas and locally as it relates to what you guys are doing and what we're about to do. So that of itself is going to help to reach across the globe because, there are Baronians all over.
Yes.
The Baronians in Australia, because Baronians in Australia, New
My
Zealand.
neighbors are in
over.
Australia. I got neighbors in Australia, Mr. Fisher's son,
Okay.
and teacher Albanese. They're in Australia.
Yeah, look at that. So when this now gets out, definitely, I know from wherever they are, they themselves is going to make contributions as much as possible to see that BV has lifted itself. Back in the days, we have been recognized for our athletic ability.
Yes.
Right? One of our team members, Mr. Bice, Colin Bice.
Colin was a
top
national
sprinter
champion.
For years, you understand?
We've
For
got
years.
Cranston Gittins was a national champion. He got scholarship and went to study based on his athleticism.
Well, look at that. I even came up under Colin's stewardship. I have made my name within the national schools and even at the joint services. And we have persons who did well in football. We have persons who did well in theatre, arts and drama and all those things.
Right now we have 2 stars or 3 in football on the national team. We got Omari Glasgow. Sorry, these my relatives, so could call it, but there are 2 other fellas I can't recall any. I think this Robinson boy, another relative.
Well, that's important. So there are so many more young
and there are many
persons
others
out there, but it's just the opportunity they need, and they want the right guidance, and also we can help now to have the right type of people to come on board and to assist. There are people out there who will be willing to assist, but just people wanted to ensure that in so doing, is that everything go as planned and everything work in the right order.
Yeah.
Okay? In the right order. So this is what we intend to do, is to bring about the right order, to have the right assistance, and also to give them the right guidance. On the basis of observation learning, is that definitely once people see and observe that what we are doing makes sense and bringing about a positive change, it simply means more people is going to come on board.
You'll get
You understand me? And that is what
good
we're
attracts
focusing on. Yes.
support.
Definitely.
When you're doing bad, that's when people will want to stay away.
Well, we're not looking. We're not looking
so
for that.
I am happy to know that we have some movement.
Within the field of education, you understand me? There are lots of things. When we look around, our youths need to know. And we can able to develop that conduit in terms of where we can establish forums and we can help to pass on information to them. The thing is that information, it is very critical and important. Like when you look at it, because of failing to understand certain importance, right? Not coming to them through the right sources and also well edify can always cause them to either remain or even decline in their
Yeah.
actions of ignorance.
Yeah, yeah.
And we need to now really, truly work that out and bring them out of it. Because they need to understand that if they continue to behave in a certain way and they continue to now become a nuisance or in any way deviant to society, it definitely simply means that they're going to find themselves in contrary with the law, and you don't want that.
Well, that is so because
You know?
you see, there's this saying, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. It's more expensive because that's when you get into conflict with the law, and also at the end of the day, your family have to pay. You may not pay, but then mothers end up pledging their properties to save a son. Right? That is much more expensive than if she had spent a bit of money or if the community had assisted her to spend a bit of money to educate that child. No. So we need to get rid of the ignorance at all costs.
I'm positive that the young people here, they're prepared and ready to go down the path of doing good. They want to be somebody.
Well,
they can be somebody. They need the guidance, and we're the older folks who will have to ensure that we put them on that track, put them on the right path.
Well, that should have always been the role of the older ones to guide.
Because older ones guide me.
Right.
Older ones guide me. You know, when we couldn't do certain things, and that's why it still remains with me up to now, because you couldn't pass big people on the road and don't say hello, good afternoon, and show that respect.
You couldn't do certain things on the road once you know,
right.
because somebody can see you and go home and talk.
But you got discipline on the road, and when you go home, you get discipline again.
Right, but today all of that is somewhere in our memories that it can happen. It used to happen. Now you touch a child or you tell a child something, the parents many times are annoyed. So people are very suspect. But we need to bring back those values.
But the thing is that even if they come tonight, I think in this time here now, we have so many sources to our advantage that we can use to help them to show the reason why we're saying what we're saying, or the reason why we would have taken certain course of action. Because here it is, you have smartphones, so you can hear, if you see that the child is being
deviant, you
can
can film
you can record it, and then even when you go, I'm saying, look, neighbor Jane, this is what your daughter have done, or this is what your son did. And I'm not here just to only say, here I have the evidence. So you can be able to show them and help to bring them to the understanding, because remember, is that sometimes people tend to be in doubt because they know to the manner, the level that they would have brought up their child, so they, just believe that they will remain in that line, but not knowing that definitely as they go out there, environment changes them, the type of persons who they find themselves associated with, and peer pressure and those things, So with that, we can be able to really truly work in that direction and help to really bring that type of information to bear, or justification, why we're saying this, or why we want to do this, or why we want to think. So it is important. So with our objectives, it is really truly with the interests of Bedford Acton, triumph. We want to see our community gets back well and come on stream.
Okay. Well, we'll take a short break and start so that the other members of your group can come forward, and maybe they will say to us what are the plans for the week of activities. It was nice talking to you, Paul, and I will say to the group, keep up the good works.
Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah, I don't come. There's only two people can be up here, right? So with the two human beings, discuss.
She put a pot on she hair and gone. Them a the first one out on the dam. Basket on she head, bucket in each hand, hold up and she frack, I wanna she grandson, to the market, them a go. For the morning, the day is dawning, for cockacrow to give the villagers a warning. Rise and shine, the birds them a sing, all animal take turn as them join in the waking. Cockacrow, dagabag, donkey, bray, horse, and they even duck a quack. Cockacrow, dagabag, donkey, bray, horse, and they even duck a quack. Come and hear this sweet story that tell the people about life in the country. All day a back down, me now a come home. Inaga, jackass yard for fetchy load. Cockle shy hand, bag over shoulder, running by his side, a Rexy and Rover. From the farm, them a come. Sun a go down but up the river. Some washing clothes, some folks are bathing at the water. Fisherman, they catch them a bring. From a canoe boat, man, them start offloading. Aymara, Kwakwari, Hail Baka Kuma Kuma, even Lokunani. Aymara, Kwakwari, Hail Baka Kuma Kuma, even Bangameri. Listen to this sweet story that tell the people about life in the country. Them children glad when the weekend come. Out in the yard, them all gather round. Some a play catcher, some making house from straw. Two who come later, a grandma or grandpa, all a sit down just a wait. Moonlight so bright, it's just the right time to listen story or to say a little nursery rhyme. Grandpa voice a echo in the night as he tell the tale. Some picnic are there with fright. Oh, Ligan, Mungeza, Massa Kurma, Nancy, even Watamuma. Oh, Ligan, Mungeza, Massa Kurma, Nancy, even Watamuma. Yeah, man, that's the true story that tell the people about life in the country, life in the country.
Here with me is Brother Paul King and Sister Joanne Solomon. So what we here now is to let you know as it relates to the upcoming events or activities for 1 week, starting from the 30th of July. On the 30th, there will be a church service commemorating Emancipation, okay? At the church service will be held at the Bethel Congregational Church. And that is the oldest church, and I think that's the church too that were developed or set by the slaves. So there's where the Emancipation service will be held. We are now looking forward for full participation from the entire village and for those far afield too, because we know Baronians all over. So we're asking those at Paradise, Beirut, even as far as Parfait, Harmony, right? From the east, west, south, we're asking for you to come, be a part of that celebration. I think the church service starts at 10. After the church service, there we will have some refreshment, and we will be able now to, interact and able to talk and, share some old time, gyaaf and laugh with each other. And then on the following day, which will be the 31st, on the evening of the 31st, we'll be having our Emancipation Eve program. That is an annual event, but I think due to COVID or so, it went dormant. But now we're going to reignite or reactivate that program. So that will start at 9 o'clock at the monument. That will be right by the vicinity of the health center and the playground on Republic Drive. So that activity will start at 9. We have a packed program there, and we will try as much as possible to keep you well entertained. At that event, you will have all persons on stage are Baronians. Okay, so we'll have drumming, we'll have Chris Gopal bringing stand-up comedy for us, we will have songs, we will have poem, we will have dance, and also we will have the event start with the majorettes. The majorettes are those persons who will march through the village, being led by the police drum corps, and they will do some display all the way as they come through the village, and then they will come to the monument, and where we will have the event start officially. And then from there, the program will roll. So we're looking for full support. We want you people to come out there and have a wonderful Emancipation Eve. Also, on the 1st, which will be the following day, that day will be the fun day. On the fun day, that will start at 10, but officially in the morning early, there will be some sporting activities which Paul will relate it to you. Okay, so I'm looking forward again for your full support, for your full turnout. I will let Paul tell you what are some of the activities or novel events that will be taking place on the 1st.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Pleasant good night to all Baronians, near and far. Now, we're going to be having some sporting events. One will take the form of a cycle race, which is totally sponsored by Miss Beverly Somerset, better known as Miss Ann.
Mm-hmm.
She's totally sponsoring that cycle race, which will take two forms, male senior and male junior. Then we will be having football, interblock football, which I think it will take the form of 7-a-side, and also cricket, tape ball and softball cricket, and dominoes. Those are some of the sporting activities that we will have on the 1st, which will be accompanied by the, the family fun day, and we're calling on all Baronians, all Triumphans, near and far, come home. We want this to be a reunion, a rekindling of the way Bedford Acting Triumph used to be. So, it's, you don't have to, whatever, it's a day of what? It's a day of freedom. It's a day of love. It's a day of coming together. That long lost friend, that long lost neighbor, let us meet each other, let us greet each other, let us bring that love and unity back to Bedford Acting. You see, we in Bedford Acting, we have so many firsts that we don't even know about. I remembered as a child growing up, my father said to me, when the Queen visited this country, I was leading the brigade. I was wielding that baton that welcomed the Queen to this country, a man by the name of Lawrence Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that. And I doubted him, because, he said it. But then I came home and I asked my grandmother, I said, Ma, Daddy said X, Y, Z. She laughed. She said, Kilton, that's my call name. She said, Kilton, Bedford Acting have so many firsts, So we would want to bring those things back to Bedford Acting, bring back the life. Look, I was listening to this football is Five Alive football, and this senior league football. And there's nothing like Bedford Acting. And we used to be the leading football team in this village. When it comes to cricket, only Pleasance used to match us at cricket. So we want these things to return. And in order for these things to return, we have to have the inclusion of everyone on board. Everyone, every Baronian, every Triumpian, come on board with us. Let us have fun. Let us discuss the way forward. And let us move forward as a united village.
Yes.
So, and following that, do you want me to do the? Following the sporting event, we have a meet and greet, visit, distribution of hampers, which would be on the 2nd. And I would let my fellow colleague deal with the remainder of the program. Over to you, Ms. Gyaaf.
I must say, first of all, good night, and thank you, Mr. Williams and Mr. King, for allowing me to be here with you. And basically, what we're having is not only a hamper distribution, but we are having a visit. We as they both said, my two colleagues, that we want to include all Baronians. And the purpose of the visit and hamper distribution is to include the persons that can't come out, the shut-ins, the elderly that would not be able to come to the other events. So we go to them. We go to them, we visit them. If time so allow us, we have a little chat with them and we distribute hampers to them. That will be on the 2nd of August, and persons included would be persons from, say, 90 years and above. Those will account for the elderly, and 60 years, and we have persons as young as 49 years old for the shut-in. So those are the persons that we will be targeting with this part of the program, and we do hope to get full support, full cooperation from everybody involved.
But let me add some things too. On the Emancipation Day activities, the events there on Emancipation Day, what we are appealing to is that we want, as much as possible, whoever can afford it, to prepare something and bring it out. You can bring your cocoa, you could bring your pepper pot, you could bring your kanki, you could bring your pone, you could bring your marby, sorrel drink, whatever it is you bring, because everything now is going to pool together and we're going to share. No food in selling on that day. It's not about selling food and these things. On the day, it's to give. We want to give, and just as Paul said, we want to reunite. So bring what you can bring and let us share it out. At the church service, we're going to share snacks. We're going to provide snacks for you at the end of the church service. And also, at the night of the Emancipation Eve, also we will provide snacks. But on the 1st, we're asking that people can bring out whatever you can afford, whatever you can prepare. You want to prepare chana, whatever you want to prepare sandwiches, you want to bring salt biscuit, you bring whatever you want to bring, because it's a family fun day, you understand me? So we're going to pool our resources, just like how they pool the resources and buy BV, right? Just like how the slave did. So we want to pool our resources and we're going to feed each other on that day. So you prepare what you want and you bring it, okay? You bring it and let us have fun. So it's a day of sharing. Also, as it relates to what Joanne would have said to the visit to the elderly and shut-in, we would have already gone through that. We would have went, visit homes, so we would have been able to identify specific needs. Okay? Because whatever we provide, we want it to go specific to the person or the individual to be used. So we've identified that and we're going to deal with that specifically. After the visit, on the following day, we have a symposium. The symposium is at 2 o'clock. Our venue presently stated is at the primary school tarmac, 2 o'clock. At the symposium, what will happen there? We will now able to showcase our team, both teams. We will showcase our teams and their members, because those from the US will be here. And also, we will now identify some real prominent and staunch villagers, Baronians and Triumphans, who's going to come and talk to our youths, telling them things of importance. But not only the youths, we want the parents to be there too, because the message that's going to be given out to the youths is important for the parents to hear, because they need to have that togetherness and that guidance. So it is important that you be out there, okay? So we're looking forward for that support, and we are very thankful for being on this program this evening. So as we go along, we're hoping to have another program where we can able now to enlighten you as it relates to the development and spot on in terms of how far we are. But thank you for listening to us. And we calling on all Baronians and Triumphans, near and far, please come and celebrate with us on all the activities and events thereabout. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Elton, thanks very much.
She put a pot on she hair and gone. Them a the first one out on the dam. Basket on she head, bucket in each hand. Hold up on she frock, I wanna she grandson. To the market, them a go. For the morning, the day is dawning. For cockcrow to give the villagers a warning. Rise and shine, the birds them a sing. All animal take turn as them join in the waking. Cockcrow, dagabag, donkey, bray, horse and they even duck a quack. Cockcrow, dagabag, donkey, bray, horse and they even duck a quack. Come and hear this sweet story that tell the people about life in the country. All day a back down, me now a come home. Inaga, jackass yard for fetch the load. Cockle shy hand, bag over shoulder, running by his side, a Rexy and Rover. From the farm, them a come. Sun a go down but up the river. Some washing clothes, some folks are bathing at the water. Fisherman, they catch them a bring. From a canoe boat, man, them start offloading. Aymara, Kwakwari, Gale Baka Kuma Kuma, even Lokonani. Aymara, Kwakwari, Gale Baka Kuma Kuma, even Bangameri. Listen to this sweet story that tell the people about life in the country.
TV, Triumph, Association for Development. I hope I got it right this time. I've told you what their plans are for emancipation. It's a pity I couldn't really get onto the other villages and see what their programs are like. But the whole idea is, here we have a group that is seeing the need to come together and try to make a change in our community. And I hope that in other communities, other villages, such are replicated. So with that, I will ask Brother Dr. Paul for any parting statement.
Yes. Again, you have heard what our planned activities are. However, we want to say that there will be a reception and dance on the 5th on the 4th at the Baby Community Center. So we're looking forward for everyone to come there, where we will have a nice time, and then on the Sunday there will be a karaoke wrapping up the week's event. And also, what I want to say that Baronians and Triumphans, this is an important juncture in terms of our community interests. And with those who have the requisite skills, the knowledge, and whatever resource you have that can help to bring our village back to that place, we're asking you to come on board, reach out to us and help us to do something much better and greater for this village.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paul. And with that, I say good night to all until the next 2 weeks, when we will be looking at the 1823 bicentenary program. Good night. Bye.
Thank you, Pastor.
Peace.
This is very important.
helpless people.